Here we go again.
Which one's mine? Because I'm like really loud and before like I can even hear myself.
Going down the only road I've ever known.
Did it? Nope.
Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone. I made up my mind. Do you know what song that is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank God. It was like, oh, I'm singing to the silent. All right. We are here, thriving, happy to be here.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Because
it's just weird because like sometimes it like cuts out and that's why I kept going like this last time.
Yeah, well, you're really fucking loud a few times in the end of the last episode, so I'm sure our listeners appreciated that. But
Sorry.
here we
go.
Go.
Oh, way too long.
Is this taboo? You know what this is.
What did you ever What color are your underwear?
Nude or crass and inappropriate. It's your trippy hippie Alicia jumping on the mic from good old Utah. Fuck.
Danielle, I'm starting to feel this shit.
Welcome
To Hard Talks.
Seduction.
where the talks are really hard.
I thought this was Flaccid Talks.
This shit sound deep.
It's gonna get deep today.
Shit sound deep.
This is Hard Talks. Hard Talks.
Hard talk.
Hard Talks.
Hard talks.
You're listening to Hard
Hard
Talks with a blonde and a hippie.
Ooh-wee.
Ooh. Yay.
That bell's been like a staple in our little like potting.
I know. I'm just so happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive. Happy to be celebrating this chance to be alive and breathing, and I'm feeling very grateful today. How are you?
I'm good.
This is Hard Talks with a blonde and a hippie. I'm your trippy hippie Alicia, jumping on the mic from good old Utah.
With your favorite blonde.
Sarah. So, we do curse like sailors. I am going to talk about psilocybin, some plant medicine today. Mushrooms.
Oh, okay.
And the benefits and uses of mushrooms.
I love how you're just like,
My hand motions.
and then your little like glasses, you're like, and here we are today.
The glasses you had on last time were perfect, even though like they wouldn't
didn't
light
work.
up. But I'm going to get you some black glasses, just round glasses like that, because my mom was watching the episode and she kept texting me throughout. She's like, I love this. Sarah's glasses couldn't be more fitting, because she's like, does she even know what Alicia's talking about?
No.
I was like, well, she sure tried.
I was really trying on that one.
I don't even know if I fully understood what we were talking about, but
I think I had to like look it up myself and be like, and I was telling Chase, I'm like, babe, and he's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, no, you didn't, you fucking asshole. God.
just be wowed with me for a moment,
I know.
okay?
There was like a meme where it's like a fake lady's legs and like there's like a baby's head like half sticking out, and they're like, excuse me, sir, we've been trying to reach you about your car warranty. And I was laughing. I'm like, look at this. And he's like, what does the baby have to do with it? I'm like, are you freaking kidding?
He's so like,
I know. I'm like, really? And then we went out to pick my little niece up, and he goes, how many times he's like, how many times this week have you worn those shorts? And I was like, ew, what do you do laundry?
Did you do laundry?
No.
I don't think so. That forfeits your right to comment. Thank you.
I thought that looked good. Sorry.
That's funny.
God.
Yeah, so that's your disclaimer for this week. Curse like a sailor, and
I mean, it's 18 and up podcast.
Yes.
We talk everything controversial and hard. Oh.
wow, did we have a mental bleep there?
We did.
A glitch in the matrix?
We did. No, like, ever since you said that, I've been like looking at everything like
Differently.
yes.
Yeah, and so that kind of went into my experience this last weekend, and I was really kind of hesitant to share my experience of this last weekend, but you know, I also said fuck it. So we're here. And it's like funny how some of the most impactful and profound experiences kind of find you randomly.
Yes, I do.
When you least expect it to.
Not coincidental.
Not at all.
Not at all.
It's no secret that I've been struggling. I mentioned it a few times on the show, struggling a little bit with my depression and my anxiety. And kind of just feeling as if I'm just going through the motions, almost feeling like a stranger to myself. You know what I mean? And I feel like, well, do you?
Yeah, that's not funny at all. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, we can laugh at it because that's life, right?
But it's so true. Like, no matter like what you're feeling, you're just like, who am I?
Just also feeling really empty.
Yeah.
You know, nothing is quite fulfilling my happiness anymore. You know, the things that I used to love or the things that used to drive me.
Are changing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just
You're growing up.
I don't find the joy in many things anymore.
Yeah.
And so I've been really trying to hone in on why that is and figure out on what level that actually means.
Remember you Snapchatted me a couple like days ago. You're just like, I'm just not myself. Remember that?
And I feel like I have been getting out of it. Like it was kind of the funk was the worst at the beginning of spring. And I was just like, what is this? I haven't felt this anxious in years. I'd been medicated most of my teens. And after I had my oldest son, I was like, I don't want to be on this anymore. Not to say that medication doesn't work for everybody. Obviously,
It's just you.
Yes. And I finally like got to a point in my mental health where I could manage my anxiety, depression without medication. That's not to say that I didn't use other plant medicine to help. You know, I'm a big supporter. Yeah, I like that. I'm a herbalistic.
That was damn good. And that'll never happen again, probably.
Pro medical cannabis, you know? So
I mean, hey, it's you know what's in it. You know where you grow it. Like you don't know.
you know where you grow it.
Right? Like honestly, like have to I mean, but like too, like if you can't get on the weed train and medicine helps you, then by all means.
I mean,
just do what helps you.
I thought we were progressing so well, and then shit happened recently with things I'm not going to bring up right now because that's not what this episode is about. But
Next
just like,
episode.
damn, we have not progressed at all,
No.
you know? So when I look at cannabis or plant medicine in this case,
Herbalistics.
mushrooms, you know,
Yeah.
psychotropic drinks, you know, there's different tribal drinks like cacao ceremonies that
But that's the thing too.
can
it's
be
like
administered
They've been like practiced for years.
thousands of years.
Thousands of years. So like why is it so like taboo?
Yeah, because I mean, ayahuasca is like a root, you know, in Peru, Brazil, and then like cacao is like a nut. So it's like it's all natural.
You know, cannabis is a plant.
Yeah, and it may not be for everybody, but there are definitely some therapeutic properties that walk hand in hand with psychedelic trips, and I stand by that. So, and you know what? Like maybe you guys listening can relate to just being anxious and just kind of feeling like you're in a rut and not quite understanding why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You become so laser hyper focused on the everyday survival mode, like what's directly in front of you, that it's hard to hang it up at the end of the day and to live presently. And that's something I've really been trying to focus on because the more present I am, the less anxiety I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're constantly worrying about the next impending thing.
It might not even happen, but you're like worried about it.
Right. And something that I keep retelling myself is like, no amount of worry is going to change anything. You know what I mean? So why do I stress myself out to sometimes the point of like hyperventilating or crying or
panic
feeling
attack.
sick? Truly. Yeah. And it almost becomes a chore to live presently. Like you have to be super conscious and aware of it. And I was just like thinking, I was like, it doesn't have to be that hard. It really doesn't. But worrying about the things that are out of your control, like the car that just doesn't seem to run right, because I always have car issues, or everybody does. Car troubles suck.
Cars just suck.
Is your house clean enough for company? Did I check enough things off my to-do list today? Daily stresses over your job, the evil that is money, your kids, if you're raising them right, you're doing your best. the inner workings of every complex relationship you possess, and the ways of this messed up world and our government, because shit just be ever changing, right? It definitely becomes a struggle and an interpersonal, like almost warfare with yourself. And I don't know, I just find myself asking, am I at peace with my body and sensuality? And what the hell does that even look like? Am I accepted as I am? Am I loved? Am I worthy? How do others perceive me? You know, these are all things that bounce around in my brain when I'm anxious. Where do I fit into this chaotic world, and what does it all mean, right? The everlasting question. What does this all mean? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? All of these things can swirl in and out of your thoughts, and something I've, like I said, really been trying to work on is silencing the noise. Just tuning out ultimately the things I don't have control over, the things I can't change, the things that just fucking happen to us. You know what I mean? And it kind of birthed this idea, something I wanted to do, something that I had the opportunity of experiencing this previous weekend on this episode. And I do it because I want to remind you that ultimately it's all going to be okay. And coming to find peace with the many thoughts or triggers of stress or anxiety that run in and out of your head every day can be harnessed as a superpower. Instead of it being a negative, flip it into a positive. So I want to do a little guided breath work session with you, Sarah.
Perfect.
So if you will, I invite you, wherever you are listening to this, to close your eyes. And if you're in your car driving, just try to empty your mind. Like,
Please do not close your eyes.
Yeah, please do not do that. But, you know, as you're driving, kind of just tune out. Silence the radio. Oh, well, I guess you can't in this case.
Wow, that just
Just tune everything out.
Tune us
and
out.
Empty your mind like a massive data dump. In this moment right now, none of the stressors matter. None of it can touch you or affect you. You are safe. You are worthy of happiness, and you are more than deserving of a moment of uninterrupted simplicity, peace, and clarity. So with your eyes closed, I want you to take a deep breath in and hold it for 4 seconds. And allow that breath to fill you completely. When you exhale, I want you to be conscious of what feels tight within your body. And on your exhale, hold that for 4 seconds. Take another deep breath in and hold, feeling the breath expand your core. Feel your energy. Breathe out. What emotions are you feeling? Is it hard going inward? If so, why? Take another deep breath in. And when you hold your breath this time, allow the stillness to quiet the racing thoughts in your mind, consciously focusing on that breath. And hold. Exhale. When you do this, imagine that with each exhale, you're pushing out. You are physically expelling all the negativity built up in your body. Anything that's weighing on your heart, breathe it out. Breathe in. Feel the life that is filling your lungs. If it helps, I like to put a hand on my heart and my stomach. And feel my lungs completely, taking tiny sips of air at the top. Remember, making sure you're not breathing so full you're uncomfortable. You shouldn't be inflating those lungs so much it's uncomfortable. Just feel the natural power of your breath, allowing the calm to take over. Exhale. With your eyes still closed, feel your body. This is you. This is your body. Thinking grateful thoughts. Breathe in. Thank your lungs for breathing life into yourself. Thank your legs for carrying you wherever you go. Thank your hands and your arms for working hard every day for you. Thank your mind and your soul for being the most authentic version of yourself. And on this exhale, you can try humming or saying The vibration of your hum stimulates your vagus nerve, which carries much of the stress in your body. Push out all of that negative energy and leave it there. And the best part of this is you can exhale that energy and it can just hang there in space. It's no longer inside of you, no longer holds power over you. Opening your eyes, try to live in this moment just for a second with me. How did that make you feel? Was it difficult to sit within yourself even for that short time?
You asked me like, oh, felt really good just to like be for a minute.
Yeah. If it was difficult to sit with yourself for just that short time, maybe go inward even further and ask yourself, why do you think that is? What do you think that stems from? And now, still living in this moment, repeat after me, still focusing on your breath if you can. I am worthy of my own self-love and acceptance. Everything I am doing is good enough, and I am allowing myself to be proud of the progress that I am making. I am making a habit of saying success feels so safe and good in my body because it belongs to me. I am patient, and I understand that great things take time. I have nothing to worry about, including the things that are out of my control. In this moment right now, I am safe, I am calm, and I am at peace with myself. And I will carry this feeling with me when it is time to react to the things that will happen to me throughout the day. I allow happiness to surge throughout my body. I wish happiness unto others. We are all deserving of happiness. Beautiful.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thanks, guys,
Namaste right here in this chair.
Thank you, you too, for holding this space and sharing this moment with me and us, truly. And allowing us to be a part of your lives every day. It's a way that we can connect and really
Embrace.
Yes, that is a great word for it. I just want to remind you guys that you are all light, and I don't want you forgetting how much power you possess inside. We are forces to be reckoned with, and life is such a wonderful journey, no matter how you look at it, no matter what you're going through. It's all about perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remember the first 7 episodes where perspective was my favorite word?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going back to that.
Perspective.
So, Sarah, I went to this retreat this past weekend up in Eden, which is beautiful.
Ooh,
I love Eden.
Eden's so pretty.
It's in the mountains, and they held this on beautiful pastures. It's still very green. It's next to a river.
Just lush and
Just
fresh air.
A beautiful place to be. And I was lucky enough to really reconnect with myself and kind of calm my mind and let go of the things that are out of my control. Mm-hmm. The event was called Revival. It's like a summer solstice celebration they put on or have for the past couple years. And it's put on by Divine Assembly, a.k.a. Mormons on Mushrooms. That's what their establishment is called. And it's a new formed church, which I actually was surprised by.
That's awesome.
But it's a group of worshipers who are kind of leaving the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon Church, behind. And a lot of people are leaving in record numbers right now, which was kind of a shock for me to learn. I mean, I guess not really, but to
still
see the actual statistics, you're like, damn, maybe people are opening their third eye or something. You know what I mean?
yes.
But they're finding solace with an apostate band of psilocybin-loving spiritual explorers looking for God, one trip at a fucking time. And I love that.
That's awesome.
And, it was organized really cool. But Rolling Stone actually just wrote an article about the Mormons on mushrooms. So it was kind of funny. They just published it on the 28th.
You sent that to me.
Yeah, so it was just a couple days after the retreat. So I'm thinking the journalist or whatever was actually up there, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But it kind of details a little more about this group exclusively. In the Divine Assembly, it's like a 2-year-old church, so super fucking new. There's only 3,000 members, but they consider psilocybin as its holy sacrament, which I fucking love, right? Even microdosing. And if you're still leaning on the fence of this is very taboo, I invite you to expand your mind and do a little research, because there's a lot of fucking power in plant medicine. Dead ass.
Jace has a book.
Yeah, dude, we should read it.
Of your medicine in your backyard.
We should read it sometime.
I'll have to bring it.
And I'll link the article in our show notes if you'd like to read more up on that. But I'm not here just specifically talk about the Mormons on mushrooms. It was just cool because
the experience itself.
Yeah, that's who put on this event, and I didn't go. I wasn't planning on going at all, actually. I had no intention of attending. My aunt had bought tickets and kind of begged me to go with her.
She's like, you're going.
But she decked out the back of her SUV just for this. She built like a platform in the back of the bed so she could sleep in it. And it's actually rather comfortable, I must say.
That's why you need an SUV. Mm-hmm. The only reason to get an SUV.
I really want to get it. Just dirt bag all over the place. Just go everywhere. It'd be cool. But she built it just for this event. Like I said, just to camp out under the stars the whole weekend. And she asked me many, many times to join her. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know. And I ended up replying with like a timid, I'll think about it.
I'll think about
I'll think about it.
I said think about it. It's probably a no, but I'll think about it.
I'll think about it.
I'll think about it.
Little did I know it would be one of the most spiritual and uplifting experience I'd experienced in a very long time. I've been feeling at war with myself, and I figured, why not? Why wouldn't I go? I didn't even like go in expecting like other people to be like all on psychedelics. Like I honestly thought it was
like a retreat.
I didn't think of it as a retreat. I thought of it as a festival.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking I was going to go up there and like rage my ass off, and I did, because they had music playing at night. But I wasn't planning on like all of the workshops and the, it was, very
It was more than just
interesting.
like raging there, like, well, let's work on this.
Yeah.
And then party at night after you worked on it, and you can really open your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I didn't have Elliot that weekend, so I was like, whatever. Like, my work week was less than chill, so I was like, all right, like, I'll go up. And all I have to say is if you've never experienced a psychedelic trip, the best way I can put it into words, the best way I know how, because it's kind of hard, because each trip is very different too, is one of two ways. The power of plant medicine is going to show you whatever is intended for you and whatever you basically need to hear. So like, you can't like get all freaked out when you're like coming up, because sometimes that can be overwhelming. You're feeling so many emotions. Your mind is flooded with all of these profound thoughts, and like
write it down in a journal.
Yeah, you're solving like the world's biggest problems in your head. And
you
so
figured out the cure for cancer.
Yes. Yeah, seriously. So sometimes like it can be overwhelming, but you just need to remind you that the medicine is going to show you what it needs to show you, and you just need to roll with it.
Roll with the waves.
Just go with the flow, my friend.
Up and down.
Yeah. It's not like the movies describe. You don't see any crazy shit unless you're going like balls to the wall, like taking a whole fucking bag of mushies by yourself. Then you might see some killer clowns.
Side note.
Yeah,
Side
you know
note.
what I mean? But it's not like like you don't act crazy. You just laugh a lot and you feel like a kid.
Don't
You do.
don't go balls to the wall.
Yeah. It's more like an ebbing of vibration. You get tracers. So suddenly light is fractured into many patterns.
And see, you remember it all too.
Mhm, yes.
So it's not like you black out from it.
It might be a mind altering substance, but it is not of like personality changing, like fucking I'm gonna eat your face off zombie like drug.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And psychedelics are non-addictive, so remember that, friends. So you get, like I said, it kind of fractures into patterns. Music becomes tangible, like you feel it, like you can feel every molecule in your body dancing to it. You want to move. You want to be connected to the earth. You know what I mean?
Mother Nature over here.
You can almost like visualize sound waves. And suddenly everything is in high definition. Like suddenly you're seeing colors that you've never seen before like that. It's a trip. And people have auras almost. You could feel other people's energies. I mean, everything has energy. I found a rock and I named it Eleanor.
I remember that.
Yes, because the first night I was there, you know, I always get a little nervous because mushrooms are powerful. They're not to be taken lightly.
Yes.
You know what I mean? In the sense that you never know what you're going to get. Like you could have this kid-like experience that I just described where everything is just beautiful, or the medicine could really show you something that maybe you're not ready to
see.
deal with, or you know, it's something, a trauma that you've been pushing down for so long, and suddenly it's like, no, you need to handle this, bruh. Like you're festering. It's festering.
You're like, it's gonna eat you alive.
Yeah.
Get this shit out of here.
Yeah. And this rock, like I sat down when it, like I was just feeling a little overwhelmed. There was music playing. There were beautiful lights, beautiful people. I was surrounded by a beautiful scenery. And it was just like too much. It's too much, you know?
Yeah.
And so I sit down and there's this rock that's sitting there. And I pick it up, and without even thinking about it, I just am like gripping this rock like it's the only
It
thing
is your life source.
keeping me planted on this ground. If not, I would just float away, you know?
You need it, Eleanor.
And yeah, I even was like, it looks like an Eleanor, you know? And
It looks like an Eleanor.
my aunt has a video of me like dancing with me and this rock. The rock's like put up to my
Oh.
face, but like walking around it's what really kept me rooted.
You need
And
Eleanor. Do you still have said rock?
yes, I have said rock.
You should write Eleanor on her.
She's in my, no, she's too beautiful.
Oh,
And then
okay.
even my aunt at one point, she's like, can I borrow Eleanor? Because, you know, she's like, I need to get grounded.
Grounded.
Yeah. And so she holds on to it. And after a moment, she's like, leave it to you to find the most like violent looking rock on the fucking mountain. Like it's got one like really sheer edge. So it's super sharp.
Oh, nice,
And,
yeah.
like I'd be like, I found it because subconsciously is like, well, you're walking in the dark in the middle of nature. Maybe if you have to bludgeon someone, you never know.
Bludgeon someone.
But then on the flip side, it's beautiful and colorful, and it's got a lot of crystals on the inside. And I remember picking it up and just turning to her, and I was like, this rock is older than anything here. I was like, it's millions of years old,
So
and it
true.
found me.
It did.
You know what I mean? Why was I so, why did I need to pick it up so badly? So yeah, to say the least, sometimes it really helps to plant yourself and feel the energy of the earth and the universe.
Let it take you on that ride. Because if it never took you on that ride, you never would have been grounded, and you never would have found Eleanor.
Yeah, it's like that one guy on that documentary, Have a Good Trip, where he's like, when you take mushrooms or psychedelic drugs, it's kind of like a big zipper in the sky, and the zipper starts to unfold, and if you try to stop it, it's like you're fucked. Like you don't stop the fucking zipper, you just let that fly. You know what I mean? And whatever
awesome.
comes out, whatever it
Comes
is,
out.
God's dick, whatever, you just take it. Like, go with the fucking flow.
That's awesome.
Don't stop the flow. And yeah, so got planted, and all of a sudden I was so overcome with gratitude for myself, for the planet, for you and the people in my life, for, you know, the music that was filling the air and my soul. And I started to cry, but it felt so good to cry.
You're purging.
Yes, without anger, without pain, without any of that. It was just a release. And I don't know, that's why it's so cleansing. And I don't know, like I was saying, like some people feel like they revert to a childlike state when accepting mushrooms. It's kind of like the big uncontrollable belly laughs that hurt or make you snort like a fucking idiot.
But you stop breathing
Or you
because you're laughing so hard.
Yeah, or you smile so much your cheeks hurt. You want to play and laugh and find a good hill to roll down, you know.
Shit.
And others receive exactly what they're supposed to. A lesson of what needs to be learned and purged and understood and heard and validated. I think that's why psilocybin is still very taboo.
Yes.
You know, people fear what it may bring to light on a personal level. People have a fear of peeling back the layers and being their most vulnerable
You're
selves.
like an onion.
Yeah, but it really got me thinking, like, why? We're all human. We're all having the same human experience.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so hard to be vulnerable in front of others and on a deeper level with ourselves?
Because we're human.
Or maybe we just put ourselves off so much that we don't want to think about ourselves on a deeper level.
That too.
It's all very superficial. We're having superficial relationships with ourselves.
No one likes to look inward. It's always easier to tell someone else what to do to fix themselves. But like when you try, like it's like easier said than done in a way.
Yeah, and I kind of have a theory, right? How I was saying everything has its own energy. I think like each mushroom has its own energy or little soul.
Yes, it does.
So each one you take, that's
Just
why
like
it's a
it.
different trip, because it's going to show you different things. Versus like, I know people who can mow down on a fucking bag of mushrooms like it's a bag of chips. And I think that's why they trip so fucking hard.
Yes.
Because you're like
You
literally
have-
ingesting all these different energies and all these different
You
messages.
gotta think about you have like 12 different personalities going into one body.
Yeah, and so it's like, how are you supposed to decipher what it's trying to show you?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like in psychedelic cases, less is more, you know?
Just
that's
try
just
one
me.
and then like wait a couple days, get that trip done, try another. You'll have a different experience every time, just not all at once.
And microdosing is like its own thing. Like, it's really not enough to make you laugh uncontrollably or want to go roll down a hill or cry in a closet with you doing your shadow work or whatever. It just kind of gives you that high definition perspective, that lens in life. So it just makes things a little lighter and a little easier to deal with. It's not like you're tripping out. Microdosing is just a very
It's
subtle,
just to get the edge.
happy
It's
thing.
like taking your Prozac.
Yeah, and it's probably healthier.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like taking Prozac.
But I have difficulty integrating these experiences and these lessons that I experience into my everyday life. And so ever since last weekend, I've been thinking about that, you know, what was my takeaway from the experience? And they actually have like integration specialists, like people who are licensed can administer the drug. And then it's kind of like counseling sessions thereafter your experience. So like every week, or you could do every day in some cases, where you go in and you're kind of counseled through your experience.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and how to integrate what you learn into everyday life. And so that was one of the workshops up there, and she was kind of talking about her method of teaching and how she helps other people understand and perceive the message. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. One of the other workshops that I benefited from a lot was some breathwork ceremonies, and really like just being conscious of your body and, you know, trying to spread that positive self-love and respect, you know, to your whole being. They had morning yoga, which was lovely, and guided meditations. The psychedelic process, moving from like trauma to wholeness, like they were administering mushrooms up there to people on the first day, loving your body through the art of movement. So there were dance circles.
That's awesome.
Intros to sound healing and drumming circles. I mean, it really was a hippies or anybody working towards transcendence, like wet dream. Like it really was.
Sounds like it.
There was actually this one workshop that impacted me a lot, and it was all about like our sacred journey. And one of the women said, if you're having a hard time remembering where your place is in the world, remember that you are the experience. And I love that, right? Because I get so consumed with what I have to deal with on a regular day-to-day basis. It makes, you know, you feel really small. Do I matter in the grand scheme of things? Well, fuck yeah, I do, because I am the experience. Like, I don't know anyone else's. You know, who's to say that this isn't, all of our experiences aren't the one true experience. Like, we're all in our own timeline.
Yes, we are.
And so another workshop was called The Healing of Art Intimacy. And I thought that you would actually really dig this one, because though it like really focuses on shadow work and the power of breath, it also focuses on your sensuality and kind of turning a negative into a positive. You know what I mean? And something she said, because like she was talking about like toxic cycles. And I think of one.
I like how you get like close to the microphone too.
Yeah, I think of one person that I'm not
Toxic
going to be named.
Circumstances.
But I have been stuck in my own toxic cycle for some time now.
It's being stalked.
Yeah, within
Oh.
relationships, no. And something she was saying is, she's like, look at it in a different way. Like, sex, orgasm is the like closest we get to ecstasy in our lifetime, truly.
Okay.
But there can also be a lot of darkness when it comes to sensuality. And if you've ever experienced that or felt that, especially as a woman, you know, they were talking about like really diving deep and being like, what does this stem from? But if you're in a toxic cycle or a relationship, also looking at through a different lens, in the sense that it's like, okay, there's obviously a reason I keep going back. So what is it that I keep getting off on? Truly, that's exactly what. No, not at all. It's a psychological thing, at least for me. Is like, okay, well, but yeah, okay. Say it is sex in itself. Like,
But that's the thing.
are
though,
you looking just for sex, or are you looking for a deeper connection with
Yes.
somebody else? And so that's what I mean. Like, really going deep and being like,
more question it more, like,
Yeah.
but like, why are you doing this in a sense, or like, why do you keep, like, is it like the person itself, or is it like you not wanting to be alone?
right. Well, and for me, like specifically, I think about my circumstance, and I'm like, okay, it'd be easy to be like, oh, well, it's the person, or I hold on to a sliver of hope that something might change and just might work this time. But really, I think and this is going to sound dark, I think subconsciously I like the rejection because I want what I cannot have. And so I keep going back. Yes, because there's sex. Yes, because there's a connection. But also, I know what I'm going to get at the end of the day. It's not going to be any different. So really, what the fuck? Like, what am I getting off on? Chasing after something that I cannot obtain. So get really deep
shit.
with yourselves,
Yeah.
guys. Don't look at it on a superficial level. Sure, sex would be the easiest route to go down. No, I am looking for a deep healing connection. I am looking for validity. I am looking to be seen, heard, understood. And I guess that's the whole range of the human experience, because at the end of the day, isn't that what any of us are looking for?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know.
That was good.
Yeah, so she was really great. And also something I really enjoyed about her class, her workshop, was, you know, if you've ever been in a dark place when it comes to intimacy or self-pleasure, you know, try taking that and flipping it in the sense that is like, oh, but I don't love myself. Like, look at my body. I'm insecure about this. Being like, fuck yeah, but that's my body. And those are my roles and my stretch marks. And
I know, my little foop, I birthed a human, so come at me.
Your body is incredible. And just really kind of learning how to worship it as it is. And that's the big message I got, is stop trying to internalize. Stop asking for a why or some reasoning behind it. It is what it is in this moment right now. And that's it. There is no other reason for it finding you or it being right now. It just is. And really kind of accepting and living in those moments where it's like, sure, I'm not perfect. Like, an example that she had is like, oh, I'm judging this person right in front of me right now. And it's like, oh God, like, fuck me. That's rude. That's wrong. But being like, no. Don't put myself down anymore. You know, let's live in this moment. Yeah, I'm judging her. It is what it is. You know, we all have those.
But everyone's like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So, like, you're not the only one judging someone. It's like, I'm judging you right now, like in your outfit. It's like, oh my God, you look so cute.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just an thank you.
You're welcome.
But I mean, just like really just accepting it, even the bad, because it's not bad. Who says that it's bad?
Mm-hmm.
You do. So you put power to that. You make yourself feel like shit.
It's like a subconscious thing of like what we're taught in life. It's like, don't do a certain thing.
Right. And so when you look in the mirror, rather than seeing all the things you don't like, think about, you know, the journey and what brought you here in the first place and what your body does to get you through every day.
And to, like, when you do that, like, watch your reaction. Like with Caroline, I'm trying to do like a different type of parenting style in a way. It kind of sounds weird, but I do like the Montessori stuff where it's like always just like do stuff for them. And like whenever she does something, I'm like, oh, look at the little pretty girl. I'm like, oh, she's so cute. And like now she used to like not wear a bow, but like everything she has, like no matter what it is, she puts it on her head and she looks at me and she goes, and I'm like, oh, look at the pretty girl. She's so cute. And she just gets like, you can just see her, like her face just like scrunches even more and her little teeth hang out. And it is just like, it's like her favorite thing. You're like, now she sees herself, I'm like, who's that pretty girl? And she just gets so excited.
And I think that's so awesome that you do that, because self-love starts so young. You know, it breaks my heart hearing Elliot sometimes. He's so self-conscious and he's 5.
Why is that? What is he?
You know, he's, you know, kids at school. And
kids are mean.
And the meanness starts so young, and it's like,
'cause that's how Addie is too. She's so worried about her belly.
Yeah. Why?
I'm like, what belly?
Why has society programmed us to be our biggest haters?
And that too, like I say with her, it's like, they say not to focus on one thing of their body. Like, oh, I love this. Be like, I just love her. Like, I love her body. Like, I don't love her belly, because then it puts in her mind of like, I have a belly.
Right. I
love
you
her
as a
thighs. Whole. It's like, oh, I have big thighs. Or like, I love her little toes. And she's like, what's wrong with my toes? Like, it's like subconsciously they're thinking like, well, why are you pointing that out?
Right.
So I'm like, I just like love her little body in a way. And like, I feel bad for Addie, because it's like kids are mean, and she's like, I just have a belly. And I'm like, you know, Addie, I'm like, you are a limber little thing. Like, you back bend and flip and do all this weird shiz, and I'm like, I can't do any of that.
Yeah,
but I'm like, who?
Own it.
I'm like,
celebrate
you are
your body.
So cute.
Celebrate your curves and your extra skin and your whatever.
Everybody has it. Yes. Everybody has that cellulite.
And something that she said, she was like, take those negatives and orgasm to them. Like, seriously, what is a better fucking way to heal?
Shit, just instead, like, just call out something bad as you're orgasming. Yeah. You're gonna like,
yeah, and that's something she talked about too. Is like, you'll get to a certain place. Like, be comfortable with self-pleasure. Like, don't make it weird, obviously. Like, when you're in your free time,
Like I'm gonna be
you yourself or you and your partner or partners, you know, like, go in and just explore your body. Get into like the
Get weird.
normalcy of just
Why can't
like
you be weird?
loving every bit of yourself, and take those negatives and, you know, turn them into orgasms. And suddenly, like, when you think of it, instead of reacting, like, instead of the first thought being
Like a
negative,
negative.
it's suddenly
euphoric, your body will be
yes.
like, oh,
yeah.
ooh, like my butt. They're like,
And you can get to a point in self-pleasure too where it's almost like a fucking meditation as well.
yeah.
Especially when you're like, I am awesome, I am amazing, I am doing this. You know, you'll go into the day, the start of your work day, and be like, none of you guys know how awesome I am. You know what I mean? You guys don't know how
guys
amazing
don't
my
know.
morning was. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it was different talking about sex and self-pleasure and orgasm in a group of people, in a group of strangers, and doing it in meditation, not diddling
Yes,
yourself,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like listening to this in a meditative state and breathing. And, you know, I got so overcome with emotion then too. You know, just thinking about the self-doubt I have, thinking about the things I want to change about my body, or things that I feel like I'm lacking in. I got very emotional, and without anyone saying anything, you know, people next to me, you know, held my hands and put their hands on my head. And to some naysayers or like people who are like, whatever, this is weird, you guys are getting real hippy dippy on me, kind of sounds like a fucking cult, I say, stop that thought, because it was such a pure connection with myself and just full acceptance with myself and those around me who I had no idea who they were, because at that point my aunt left, so I was flying solo at this thing for all of Sunday. But it was lovely. Like, there was never a moment of worry or fear, because everybody was just so nice and accepting, and just, it was just a very different experience. I mean, I've gone to plenty of raves where people are on mind-altering substances, but it wasn't like this. Everything was plant-based, and everything and everyone was just kind of on the same frequency.
Yeah.
You know, I understand you wholly, and I don't even know your name.
Right.
I can connect with you on a molecular level, and I don't even know you. And connecting yourself with the earth and just your soul. I mean, it was just very...
Beautiful.
Yes, I guess they don't call it a revival for nothing, because it was a rejuvenating experience. They also had a cacao ceremony up there.
Okay.
Something I mentioned earlier. It's a drink, and it derives from seeds from a small tropical American evergreen tree. And it's traditionally mixed with hot water, herbs, and spices. The sensation, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like a tea.
Yeah.
Or a coffee. Yeah. So I think it would probably be good either way. But anyways, it's made into a drink, and the sensation is euphoric. You feel like the happiest you've ever been. You know, it's not as like, I don't know, like some people, everyone's experience is different. So some people were having really like deep inner working relationship issues with themselves, while I'm over here in a hammock and I'm just like, God, life is beautiful, you know, good job, universe, good job, God, whatever you believe in, you did a really good job today. Look how fucking beautiful this is. Like,
Right.
I'm just like, just a total euphoric, happy feeling. And so that was really cool to experience for the first time. And it was just almost like I could feel the light radiating out of my body. Like, I am energy. I am love. I am light. I am fucking worthy to be feeling this right now. Yes, exactly. And then at the nights, it was really cool. Like I said, they had bands playing. It was a lot of like bluegrass and mellow music. And then when it got to be about 10, they had a silent disco. So then they had some EDM music but they had 2 different DJs. So
Two.
I've never gotten to experience a silent disco yet, even though I know many of my friends have played at them and have gone to them. But they're becoming more popular because they're synced headphones. So they can go on as late as possible. Like there's no issue with noise ordinance or anything. But it's kind of a different scene to walk up on because they had 2 DJs. So on the blue channel, everyone's like jamming, like fucking shuffling and just like dancing their fucking heart's content. And then on the red side, it was like more mellow, like.
And you don't hear anything. You're just watching these 2 groups. It's just like.
And it was a beautiful collage of energies coming together and just musical energy too, because like they're listening to different things, but like for some reason just the scene just worked,
They're just meshed together perfectly.
Yeah, and it's under the fucking stars and it's just fucking radical.
Fucking stars.
And I mean, I danced until I was reminded that my body was a physical form and I needed to breathe. Like I danced so hard, I was like, fuck, dude, like, oh, I'm tired. I didn't know I could feel tired, you know?
You're like, I don't even know what I might.
There were even tents set up for everyone with fuzzy blankets and pillows.
Oh.
Like, with signs on them, too. It's like, come in, relax, enjoy yourself. And,
Sold.
Yeah, we found a pink tent with all these pink fuzzy things and pillows. And there was even like, the way that people decorated these tents was so, like, well thought out and extensive.
Like
it was like, oh, this will take some time to break down on Sunday, you know. But what was really cool about this tent is there were coloring books and journals in there. And that's when I learned I couldn't write on this substance. Like I had so many profound thoughts moving through my mind. I was like, I want to share these. I want to write in this journal, right? I could write a fucking novel right now. So like I said.
You said Alicia. That's all I got.
No, I tried to write a whole fucking book, apparently, but it was just 1 page. And my mind was racing so quickly with all these amazing thoughts that by the time I finished writing 1 word, the thought had completely gone away. Like, it was like, I don't even know. And then finally, like, I take a step back and I'm like, this is fucking chicken scratch. Like, it was indistinguishable. It was just like scribbles.
Oh, I love that. I hope you kept it.
No, I left it in their journal.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and half of it made no sense. But in my mind, I was like, God, I wish I could share all this with the world.
You're like, I'm going to get this shit published for everybody.
There were also trampolines set up with blankets and pillows as well to stargaze.
Love that.
Oh, it was wonderful. And in fact, at one point, especially since we had just done the mandala episode talking about multiple realities and how relative time is, I thought at one point we were in a simulation because me and my aunt are laying down on this trampoline looking up at the sky because there are 5 planets actually in alignment right now. And you can see them at different points in the night or early morning, but beautiful stars up there. And I think, we were laying down probably around 11 p.m. So it was wherever the sky is at that time. But I'm looking up at the sky and I'm like, dude, this is fucking tripping me out. This is scary. And she's like, what? I'm like, it looks like a dome, like a fucking grid value almost.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's all this light pollution in the surrounding area. And at that point in the night sky, the dead center of the sky had no stars in it. There's constellations everywhere. There's just a break in space. And so it really had this dome-like effect. Yeah. And I was like
the light was out right there.
Dude, what is time? What is reality? Who are we? And she's like, I don't really feel the need to know all that. I'm like, well, fucking I do right now.
You're like, I need to know everything.
Yeah. So that was really crazy. And something I learned while I was up there is, fun fact, there are clinics that have been set up all over the United States and Europe, other countries where they administer like ketamine and psilocybin itself. But something they were talking about in one of these workshops is MDMA, which if you don't know what MDMA is, it's ecstasy, but in its purest form, aka Molly. And Molly is an interesting substance because it releases all the serotonin in your brain all at once. And so it feels like the world could be burning and you're like, bitch, let me get my lawn chair and watch it burn because this is fucking glorious. You know what I mean? Like,
You're like, I need a front row seat. And
yes,
some
it
popcorn.
really is a very... Anyways, so...
Off track.
Yes, they said that the FDA is going to approve MDMA, and that means they're going to be doing clinics and clinically administering MDMA, and it's namely for like PTSD people to help with PTSD.
Like microdosing.
Yeah, because a lot of these psychedelic clinics are to help. Even alcoholism, addiction, PTSD. I mean, we talked about this forever ago, I think on our 6th and 7th episode when we did the psychedelics.
That's when you recorded at Elliot.
Oh, yeah.
There was,
That's
like,
how
that
long
long
ago.
table. And I just like ate the thing.
Yeah.
Long.
But I thought that was really cool, I think, in some more European countries, they're even administering LSD. Obviously, that is not plant-based. It is a chemical, and so is MDMA. But the fact that governments and medicine is expanding
to approve it.
to find a better understanding. Why did we make this illegal in the first place? Is it because of the free thinking movement? Well, fuck, that's already happened. So we might as well understand it and get a fucking piece of the pie in this economic fucking, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so studies are ongoing, and that's really interesting. But I don't know. I guess altogether, I just wanted to share the experience, even though I was, like I said, a little apprehensive to share. Because, I mean, not everyone approves of these kinds of experiences. But, that poses a question, too, is like, if that's the case, like, why? Is it because that's how you've been raised, or that's what you were brought up to believe in? What truly scares you about, a mind-altering experience like this? Who's to say that it won't be one of the most beneficial experiences you ever experience?
That experience, you're experiencing the experience of a lifetime.
Yeah,
For that experience.
infinity and beyond.
For that experience.
Anyway, altogether, it was a beautiful weekend. And when I packed up and left, driving down the mountain, jamming to my tunes,
Your tunes.
for the first time in a very long time, I felt whole. Not a single cell in my body felt empty. And suddenly I had this great appreciation for all my trials and tribulations. I had a newfound love and respect for myself, for everything I'd ever been through. And I was celebrating my fails as they were truly my wins. You're never going to get to those mountain peaks without the valleys. And the valley is pretty fucking beautiful, my friend. Again, it's all about a matter of perspective, right?
Yes.
I'm definitely not saying you need a psychedelic experience to come to these realizations. I'm just sharing something that knocked down so many blockages I had built up within my mind without any effort on the medicine's part. It's still so mind-blowing to me that it knows exactly what you need to hear, exactly what you need to experience to kind of find those breakthroughs, and to find a better understanding for yourself and where you kind of fit as the perfect puzzle piece that you are in this world. I'm just here to remind you
You
of
are
how
amazing.
divine and magnificent you are,
Oh.
because you are, Sarah,
Thank you.
and everyone listening. You guys are truly breathtaking. And I might get emotional again. I've been emotional ever since.
Oh, I love being emotional.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I was like, you're pretty emotionless.
No,
But maybe-
I'm not.
Maybe that's something you would want to experience in the future, as Caroline gets older, like really look
I'm
inside.
a very emotional person.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe try and share that with the world a little bit more.
I cry like daily.
Understand why it is that you aren't more
Emotional?
outwardly emotional.
because I'm like that all the time.
Do you feel like uncomfortable feeling vulnerable with other people though?
I don't know. Maybe. Like I hate it. Like I guess I am because like every time I'd cry, I hated how you could tell I was crying. Like your puffy eyes. I hated it at the hospital. They took Caroline for her first bath and I broke down.
But it's not because you're sad. That's your baby, and you
No,
waited so long to
because
meet her.
It
you
was
know,
amazing. And then like
Yeah.
every time like I would be nursing her for that first week, and I'd still do it. Like I'd look down and I would just burst into tears
I
because like
made you.
I loved her so much. And I was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I just love her so much.
Well, that's your homework. Live in those moments.
Oh, I
you
love.
know?
Like yeah.
Live in those moments and be grateful that you're having them because your body is purging what it needs to, even in the happy cries. You know, the happy cries are some of the best cries.
Yeah, and then I watched a movie and I started crying.
Yeah, well, yeah, I cry in any movie too,
I mean,
especially
like,
Marley and Me. God, I cry over that dead dog every time. Sorry, spoiler alert.
What?
What?
Yeah.
But, you know, if breath work or meditation helps you to remind you of that, I'm happy to share my experiences. That's what we're here for. And I don't know. Let's be vulnerable together.
Yes. I'll hold but like that too, like if you're gonna cry, I'll cry. Like I'm like emotional support crier.
You're an empath in that way.
Yes.
Yes. Let's shed society's views and expectations of what healing and loving yourself should look like because it's not a linear experience. It's fucking rad. You know, go like with the psychedelic trip. Just go with the flow. Wherever life takes you, it's
the
where you're
zipper-
meant to be.
Unzip.
Yeah. Unzip the fucking zipper. Maybe don't force it. Again, just let it go. Just let it
like
ebb.
watch it go up. Don't go fast. Don't go too slow. Don't stop it.
But we also need to listen, friends, to ourselves and proceed with patience and kindness. We need to be gentle to ourselves.
We're very emotional creatures.
We have to be nice to ourselves. Treat yourself like you would treat your lover. I've said this before on the show. Treat yourself like you would treat your best friend because you are.
Your lover.
You know? Yeah, have
To
a
your
moment.
best friend.
Or your best
Is your best friend your lover?
It could be. Hopefully. Is
I
Chase
know,
not your lover and best friend?
Absolutely.
You're getting all
Some
you're getting
days.
too right in front of me. You know, I love you, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't go down on you.
No.
Maybe, you know, no.
Whoa, no, that's just too. That crosses some lines that we can't come back from.
Finally, you guys, I want to leave you all with a reminder that you are the fucking experience. There is no one in the world who thinks or creates like you do, Sarah. You are powerful, you are divine, you are beautiful, and you are the ones doing the hard work. You are the ones who get you through the days. And if you silence the noise, and the nights, those two, if you silence the noise and any outside influence just for a moment, you can breathe in the positivity that is yourself and release what no longer serves you. And better celebrate how magnificent you are as a fucking whole. Whatever weighs you down has no power over you unless you allow it. And the more you practice that thought process, the more grounded and connected you become with yourself, with others, and the world around you. You'll become less of a stranger to yourself because I know that's the worst feeling to me. You know, life is a beautiful psychedelic trip in itself. So just enjoy the fucking ride.
Okay.
Rock on, man. Rock on.
Silent.
It's groovy, baby. Again,
groovy.
we thank you for allowing us this space to share and open up and being a part of our lives. If you enjoyed this episode and want to give us a review, you can do so on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Spotify.
You can now do that on Spotify. And if you want to write into the show to let us know if this episode was helpful or impactful to you in any way, you can do so at hardtalkswithbnh@gmail.com. How do you feel after talking about all that?
Pretty good. That breath work really made me yawn.
Yawn.
I'm purging.
She's purging.
Isn't yawning like purging?
Maybe you're just an overly exhausted mother.
I'm very tired, actually.
It is calming though. And the best thing about breathwork practice is it's free.
I love how free it can be yours today for free.
It's free and freeing. Wow.
For your experience to experience and the experience of intimate experience. For free. You gotta do that like do like a little commercial and like fast forward experience to your experience for real.
It would be a terrible like auctioneer.
Oh yeah, like sold.
To the first bidder.
Sold.
Well, thank you too, best friend. Thank you for being here and sharing this episode with me. Thanks for being my partner. I love ya.
Friend life.
Yep, best friend, non-going down on each other life.
Is it like? Are we like? No. Yep. Okay.
Okay, can we be soul sisters?
Yes.
Be my
I
soul
was gonna
sister.
say another word, but
Connect
like,
with me.
But like that word means like you're Me and Chase are platonic. That's the word.
Oh, you are these days?
Me and Chase are
Platonic?
Platonic.
That means friendship, doesn't it?
No, it means like the
Monogamist means you're...
No, like there's a song out by Ryan Hurd, and he's like, "Let's be platonic." It's like the plates in the earth just like fit together.
Oh, I'm just saying. There's two different meanings to that, apparently.
I'm gonna look it up. Next episode. Look Up Things with Sarah.
Yes. If you guys want to give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Hard Talks with B&H. Twitter is Hard Talks with B1. Everything Hard Talks is in the links in our bios. And really, I just want to wish you all a very good, happy, healthy day, week, month. No one deserves it as much as you guys do. And I love ya.
Love you.
Yeah. Till next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Namaste.